Hello everyone, and we are playing Rome. Dun dun dun.
Hi.
So Sarah is going to teach me how to play this beautiful game. It had a other version. It was a book. It's from the same universe.
Yeah. So,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So there's this is a game published by Red Raven Games by Ryan Lucat. And he has created like an entire universe that all of these characters live in. And that is pretty much constant throughout most or all of his designs. So the world that these characters are in from this particular game, it's also a shared world. It's like a cinematic universe, if you will, for all of his other games as well, or most of his other games. I don't know for sure. So some of these characters, if you play like some of the other games that he has created, some of these characters will show back up. The land, we're like traversing through the same land as in the other games and that kind of thing. We have very, very, very little experience with any games from this universe. We have played, what was it called?
I have no idea what you're trying to reference right now. So that is how little we've played.
And it was like
Oh
a demo.
no. We've played. I don't remember.
I don't remember which one it was, but if you're familiar with Red Raven Games or Ryan Lucat Games, you might know it. It's the flip book one where you actually have the spiral bound flip book and you're moving through the book. And there was a caves expansion.
Was it above and below or
Yes,
near and far?
one.
No, it was near and far.
It was one of those two.
Yeah.
Near and far or above and below. It might have been near and far, and we were playing with like a caves expansion, but we only had played a demo, and it was neat, but wasn't really for us. This one we bought having very little knowledge of the game, but I kind of knew a little bit about how it worked, and I really do love his artwork. He has got gorgeous, gorgeous artwork, and his world building is very interesting. So we're going to try it. It's fairly simple, I think, especially because we are going to be playing with like the basic game. There's a few different variations or versions of the game that you can play, and we are going to be playing with the most basic. So there's more stuff in the box that we won't be playing with in this game, and I'm excited about that because it sounds like it's a pretty neat game, but the basic game seems pretty simple too, so I'm looking forward to maybe exploring a little bit more of the content once we kind of know what we're doing a little bit. Seems pretty simple. Want me to tell you how it plays?
Sure.
Okay, so you're going to choose one of these colors here.
Okay.
And it comes with 3 cards that go with it.
All right.
You want to?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I'll be green.
All right. You also get that turn card and that coin, and you get the coin because you are the second player.
Okay.
So if you look at your cards, you're going to spread them out in front of you, and this is a game in which direction is really important. So I have my 3 character cards here in front of me. You have your 3 character cards there in front of you. They're oriented this way to the map, and yours are oriented this way to the map. If we had other players, they would sit here, and theirs would be oriented this way to the map. And that's important because you'll notice on the cards there are these little symbols that
So like
show...
Onitama.
Yes, like Onitama. So these little symbols show which space configurations each of these characters can fill up in their turn. So what you're going to do is you're going to choose one of these, and then you're going to place your tiles in the same configuration as on that card. So if I were to use this middle character right here, for example, I could pick any space on the board here. Maybe I do this and this. Right? Now I've used up this one right here, so I would flip her over.
Okay.
So the whole point of the game is to acquire more characters. So these are our starting characters, but on the back of every single one of these map pieces is a new character. And we are trying to, this storyline is that they have been put under some kind of spell or enchantment or curse or something like that. And they've all sort of fallen into this trance, and they're wandering the land under this spell or this curse or this trance or whatever. And we are attempting to wake them up. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using these characters to fill in spaces on the map here. And then when any card has all of its spaces filled in completely, the player who has the majority of pieces on that card gets to claim it. So I would have, for example, if I had the majority of pieces on this card here, I would have freed this person from the trance or the spell or the curse. And then they would come and hang out with me. The game ends when one player has acquired 10 characters in front of them, including the 3 that you start with. And then we finish the round, and whoever has the most points based on these number of points here wins the game.
Okay.
This is pretty simple. Like I said, we're playing the basic version. There's more stuff in the box that we will discover on a future episode maybe, but we're just going to give it a try for now.
Awesome. Well, we'll come back maybe mid-game or something like that and tell you how it's going, and then we'll come back to the end and see who is victor and who is loser. All right. Toodles. So we're a little past mid-game, but that's okay. And Sarah has 6, while I have 3, 6, 7.
Yeah, I believe you have 7.
But
you have control of this one.
yeah.
I have control of this one.
Yep.
And that one.
Yep.
This one is still up for grabs. These 2 are still up for grabs.
Yeah. So it's been pretty interesting, I think. It reminds me of Onitama, but I could say, I don't know, they're different.
I like this way better than I like Onitama.
Onitama is more...
Onitama is very, very, very...
It's like chess, kind of chess-like.
It's...
More chess-like than this is.
Yeah. It's more chess-like than this, and while it's a fantastic abstract strategy game, I don't particularly care for abstract strategy games, and while this has some of that same feeling to it, this doesn't feel like an abstract strategy game to me. This feels like a puzzle, for sure, the same way that some abstract strategy games do, but to me, I don't know, for me, this is easier to grasp like what I need to do and how I need to do that and that kind of thing than Onitama is. And so for me, this is more enjoyable.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on though. It's deceptively simple. It's literally on your turn. You choose one of the cards in front of you, and then you can put pieces onto the board here based on, like, if I use this particular character, then I can put 2 pieces like this right here on the board. And so that's basically it. Like, you can pay a little bit of money to do some different stuff. But in the base game, without the I think they're called artifacts, without the artifacts, that's it. You just choose one of your characters and you put your pieces on the board, and you're trying to get the majority of spaces of a card filled up with your pieces, and then you get to claim that card. But the reason that there's a little bit more going on is because in addition to the cards being worth points, they also have extra ways for you to
move.
Yeah, so like when I get this card, when I finally fill this card up, or when we finally fill this card up, I'm gonna get it because I have 4 of the 6 pieces, so I'm gonna have the majority no matter what. When I get it, I'll be able to do this configuration of pieces right here. So there's some like prior planning where you're like, okay, I really want that card because it has this configuration and I think that would be really useful. Or you might be like, this card over here is worth a lot of points, so maybe I want that one, even though the configuration might not be worth that much. Plus, I've been really good at getting money, but money isn't really worth anything at the end. It's a tiebreaker. But I feel like you've been a little bit better at getting cards, where I've been good at getting money.
But anytime, like, see, for that instance, that one that has 3 of yours and 2 of mine, if I get one more, it's gonna be a bidding war, and, well, let's just say...
But that only happens if we trigger a bidding war.
And we haven't so far.
Giant pile of gold isn't going to be worth anything here. So I need to be less concerned about getting the gold and more concerned about actually getting the cards.
Okay. Well, this is a little bit of mid-game. A little past mid-game, but I thought, this would show a little bit more because the game plays so fast without the artifacts.
And I don't, honestly, I think even with the artifacts, it doesn't add a ton of time. Box time is 40 minutes. And we've been playing for what? Maybe 15, 20?
Yeah.
So I would say,
and also
if we were
we're
playing
not
with the artifacts, we'd probably be taking a little bit longer.
Yeah, but we're also pretty experienced gamers, so I think because we can relate to this being so many other different some other games that we've played before, so we have a better understanding, which includes no analysis paralysis or just a better speed and concept. So
well,
less
and
time.
I think that you and I play pretty quickly anyway. Once we get the hang of something, you and I tend to bounce back and forth pretty fast.
And then we realize later maybe we shouldn't play it so fast. But yeah. All right, well, we'll come back to you guys after we finish, and we will announce a winner and a loser. Hello, Sarah.
I win.
You was a winner.
I had 19 points.
Yes, I had 16 points, and it turned very quickly at the end of the game. I misplayed a couple turns, or a turn, which could have got me maybe closer, not winning, but closer. So, yeah.
I like it quite a bit, I think.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what the artifacts bring to the game, because I think they will bring a little bit more, like, interesting decisions and strategy and that kind of thing, because they're actually, like, items that you can acquire and then use, I think, like, once per turn, or they're similar to the characters where they have to be refreshed in order to use them again. And I don't know what they do exactly, but they do additional things as well. So that'll be interesting to add. But it's pretty simple, and I thought it was a pretty solid little game.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I like the Onitama feel that we had with this, but obviously it has a lot more cards than Onitama. And
and the play is a little bit different too.
It's different because you're not recycling cards as much as Onitama is, and there's no refresh, and there's pieces to the board, like chess pieces, and we still have all these cards that we haven't even used.
At all.
So it's really nice that we can take all these cards that we've just played with and kind of leave them off to the side. I think it would be interesting with more players too. Like, it wouldn't be bad. I just think it might fill up the board faster and maybe be a little more frustrating, because all of a sudden you think you have something, but then when it gets back to your turn, the board has drastically changed.
Yeah, there were a couple times where, because it was a 2-player game, I could kind of say, like, I can leave that card alone for a little while because he doesn't have enough to get on it and, like, take the majority right away, so I'll have time to react to that so I can do something over here. But if we were playing with more players, that probably wouldn't be that way at all.
Yeah.
I like the artwork. Ryan Lucat has beautiful artwork in all of his games. It's kind of like this sort of surreal, dreamlike world that he's created. So I like the artwork. I also noticed a couple things when I was looking at the game. I love the amount of representation. There are male and female characters. There are characters of different colors and ethnicities. There are characters that are like non-human characters. So just tons of representation here. I really like that a lot. And then I also think it's kind of cute because there are little story banners that tell you what each character was doing at the moment that they fell under the curse or the spell that sort of forced them to wander. So, for example, this is Ralman the Red, and he was painting a landscape when he was first affected. And then, like this guy right here, he was juggling glass jars full of tiny crabs, which is kind of fun. And each of these, there's just a one-sentence little synopsis of what the character was doing, but they're kind of fun to read, and they bring a little tiny bit of the theme into the game. And you can just ignore it if you want to, but if you do want to pay attention to it, it's there, and it can bring like a little smile to your face if you're willing to pay attention to it. So I thought that was a nice little bonus.
It's also nice that it's not like lavished or like overdone.
Yeah,
with
there's
it
not
too.
like paragraphs of flavor text or anything like that. It's just a one-sentence little description of what this character was doing with their life. And they're just kind of fun. They're doing all kinds of things. There's a frog character here, and he was building a boat of grass when the curse affected him. This particular lady here was chopping at fish in a stream. This woman was composing a symphony. This man was carving a statue of himself. This character here, which looks like some kind of like a lizard maybe or something like that, was slurping pond water. So I don't
Sounds
know.
like
It's
our
just
dog.
kind of yeah, it does sound like our dog. It's just kind of a fun little bonus that added to the flavor and the immersion of the game, but not in a
Overbearing
intrusive-
way.
Yeah, not in an intrusive or overbearing way. So I kind of like that. That was
Nice. So cool. This was Rome. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you next time.